in Vietnam, we have this thing. The top, there's a small eraser here. And then when I need to erase it, I just change and swipe. I always write everything down here. But then there's a hack.
Hi guys, welcome back to TOEFL with Juva. Today I talked to Anne. Anne just took the TOEFL Home Edition and she's going to talk about her experience. Hi Anne, how are you doing?
Hi, hello. Schön, Sie kennen zu lernen. I just learned this like a couple minutes ago, so I don't know if I just butchered it, but nice to meet you is what I'm trying to say.
You speak German, that's so amazing.
Thank you.
Anne, thank you so much for coming. It's really awesome that you want to talk about your experience. First, tell us a bit about yourself. What are you doing and where are you from?
So I'm from Vietnam. I'm Vietnamese, and I'm a senior high school student here in Vietnam. And I just took the TOEFL test at Home Edition to apply for my college, for my university, which will be next year.
Amazing. What was your TOEFL Home Edition experience like?
So it was it went surprisingly well. I've heard that people have many problems with the proctor before, and I was really worried about that. I really hoped that the connection was going well and nothing goes wrong. And thankfully, everything went really well. They changed the proctor like halfway through the test, but both of them were really nice in my opinion. They did everything went smoothly, except for the check-in process. There are a bit problem there, but then the proctor fixed it for me. So it was really nice of him for doing that. So overall, I had a really good time.
That's awesome. How did you communicate with your proctor? Could you speak to your proctor or did you only write in the chat box?
So with the first proctor, I talked to him and he talked to me. But then with the second proctor, I just chatted with her.
Did you use a whiteboard or a transparency sheet for taking notes?
I used a whiteboard actually, and I just feel like it's easier for me to erase it. Then change it to another one. Here's my.
Oh, amazing. So did you practice this before, taking notes on your whiteboard?
Yes, it was really hard in the beginning actually, because my handwriting is super big, like it's humongous. And when I write, I think when I first practiced with it, in the listening test, it went halfway through the listening. I just covered the whole thing, the whole board with my handwriting. So I didn't have room for other things, other important details. So we went a long way from there.
How did you erase your notes?
So this is pretty genius, but in Vietnam we have this thing. So it's a marker,
cool.
but then in the top, there's a small eraser here. So when I write it, I attach it here in the bottom of the marker. And then when I write it here, and then when I need to erase it, I just change and swipe. It's so much easier and it's so much quicker than using a separate one.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Sounds like a really efficient way to erase your notes, especially because the TOEFL Home Edition is quite stressful, right? So it's definitely good if you are quick at erasing your notes. You got a very high TOEFL score, and congratulations. That's really awesome. And I would like to know, how did you prepare to get such a high score?
So I didn't have much time to prepare for my TOEFL test, actually. I only had 10 days and it was a really stressful process because I still have schools and I still have exams And so it was really stressful. So, but now luckily I found your videos and I followed your templates. I write everything down in a notebook and then I reviewed it anytime possible, actually, in my free time. And then I practice writing, practice reading, listening with tests online. So it really helped. If So I really hope that you guys here have some more time to prepare for the test, because mine was pretty hurried.
But in the end, nevertheless, you got an amazing TOEFL score. So that's awesome. I'm really glad the channel was helpful to you. Which video did you find most helpful?
I think it would be the templates one, because templates, when you have the templates already in your mind, it is easier to write down your to write down in the test, since it would be really stressful with the time constraints and with the proctor there, with the presence of the proctor. It would be really stressful. So I think it really helps if you have something in your mind already to write down, especially in the writing test.
Yeah, definitely. Was there a task on the TOEFL that you found challenging?
Definitely, I found speaking and writing the most challenging, but I think mostly writing. I spent a lot of time practicing writing.
Which task on the TOEFL was the easiest for you?
So I'm not going to say it's easy. It's still challenging for me, but it's less challenging. So I think it's gotta be the listening part.
Why was this easy for you?
First, I think I have a pretty decent ground knowledge, and it helps because I went into the first practice test, the free practice test that they gave you, without any knowledge. I haven't watched your videos before that, so didn't know anything. I just went there, and I was pretty shocked by the new format. I was in before I was practicing for IELTS, and the listening part was really different. And so I was pretty shocked, but I did kind of well nonetheless. My starting point was 25 or 26 back then when I first did the listening test, the practice listening test. So I think I have a decent ground, and then I practiced listening to lectures and listening to conversations, which are the two parts that they give you.
If somebody struggles with listening, what's your advice? What should she do?
Okay, so like I've said before, I mostly practiced for speaking and for writing. But then there's a hack. So whenever I listen to your videos about speaking or writing, I always write everything down here, and I always try to note everything down while you're still speaking. So it's like fast way for me to practice taking notes. So yeah, I have really big handwriting, and I write everything pretty slow. So it's challenging at first, especially the note-taking part. So while I practice speaking and writing, I can still practice my note-taking skills and listening.
That's amazing. That's quite an efficient way to practice listening, right?
I know. I didn't have much time, so it's a hack.
But that's really cool. How did you feel immediately after the TOEFL?
So when the date when I took the TOEFL test, I actually had a pretty bad fever. My temperature was 38.6. So my mom was ready to drive me to the hospital. But but I still took the test nonetheless. And after the test, I completely I was so tired. I felt like I'm about to faint actually. And it was really bad. But so I got some sleep, and then I didn't think much of it. I was like, I'm too tired for this. I jumped onto my bed and I took some rest. And in the morning, I think about it a bit. I thought about it a bit, but I think I did a decent job, especially when regarding my especially with that health condition. So
definitely, you did a great job.
I'm pretty proud of myself for that.
Yeah, and that's amazing. Congratulations again, Anne. And thank you so much for this interview. Thank you for giving us an insight into what your TOEFL experience was like. And I wish you all the best for your application and your studies.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.